Welcome you to the No Time to Waste podcast. This is a very special moment because I get to make a very critical announcement that a lot of people have been waiting to hear. I said I had something very heavy to drop, and this is the moment, and now is the time. And I just want to let you know, in case you wondered, uh, this one thing: Superman is not coming. Yes, I said it. Superman is not coming. For those of us that have lived long enough to have more time behind us than we have ahead of us, then we know the importance of preparation and the importance of timing. I was thinking about this and it just dawned on me that the majority of people at this point in life, I do not know why it appears that we're mostly sitting around waiting on Superman, waiting for Superman to show up and to rescue us, Superman to come and just eliminate the opposition and whatever the challenges are that face us. I would submit to you that in light of the fact that Superman is not coming, the person that is the only person that's going to be able to help us in the future is the person that's staring at us in the mirror. I'm going to encourage each and every person that's listening to this particular podcast episode. And mind you, we only have a little over 300 episodes left. And with that being said, we're getting closer to the point of realization, hey, I think I need to get up and do something. I believe right now, the majority of people in America are living in some form of delusion, almost as though not only are we waiting for Superman, but we believe, or we're being taught to believe, that things may not be as bad as they are, and that the future may not be as bad as it could be. I want to challenge you with a thought. If the only person that can take care of you tomorrow is the person that you are today, why not do something? Or are we actually going to sit back and wait for the proverbial Superman to come? I want you to think about a few different areas where I've just sitting around, and I'm sure when you get to a point in life where you actually have time to sit and think, you start thinking about things that just don't make sense. One of the things that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and most people aren't paying attention to it, is the food pyramid. When I was in school, probably like a lot of you, they taught us in school that the food pyramid told you exactly what foods you needed to eat. For example, you had to have much dairy, so much protein, you had to have so much bread, things of this nature. What's interesting about the food pyramid is not long ago it changed. First, the original pyramid had eggs and bacon as meal choices, ideal meal choices, eggs and bacon, which we now know after years and years of research and looking at the consequences of eating certain foods, we know that the food pyramid was not quite accurate and truthful. But the updated food pyramid, that chart that's produced, that's supposed to be a guide for all Americans on what it is that we should eat. We know that there was something weird about that food pyramid, the renewed pyramid, because in that one, they actually put snack foods and chips like Doritos and Cheetos, things of that nature, all became an acceptable part of the food pyramid. Is it possible that none of that is accurate and that possibly big ag or someone that's earning money based on what we're consuming is kind of fueling and funding the food chart and the creation of the chart and the promotion of the chart and the food pyramid that's supposed to be good? I It's just a thought. It's just something I was thinking about. I'd love to be wrong on this one, but it just seems odd to me that if the food pyramid was accurate, that it seems like we'd all be getting healthier. Doesn't seem to be working out quite that way. But I was thinking about another thing. I was thinking about sleep because I've been talking a lot about sleep. Many people that I know are often, and I'm sure you know a few people that really love their sleep. or they'll say, well, no, I sleep in on the weekends, or I usually get up late because I don't have to hurry to the office. And I've been just mentioning to people casually, you realize we have all of eternity to sleep, right? So if we have all of eternity to sleep, why are we wasting time sleeping? Can you imagine this? That if there are two people in competing industries and both of them have the same product, the same goods, the same services, but the only difference between the two of them is one of them is sleeping 8 hours a night and the other is sleeping five. The guy that's sleeping 5 hours has three additional hours to plan and prepare and strategize and just get his day going. Whereas the guy that's sleeping the full 8 hours wakes up behind the guy that has already been up for 3 hours. Is it possible? It's only a thought, but is it possible that we've had enough sleep and that it's now time to get up and get into the game? I believe that each and every person that's listening, if you've got more years behind you than ahead of you, I believe that you are the person that's been called to come up with a strategy, some type of solution that's going to create ongoing revenue for you in the future. Otherwise, what in the world are we going to do? If Superman is not coming, who's going to actually pay our bills? Who's going to take care of us? Do you know, I was thinking, well, I had to use an example for my wife because sometimes LaDonna will think I'm being a little tough because I say things like this, because I'm thinking. I believe that once we get to a certain age in life, that is the gift to be able to sit and think, being able to think and reason and to just explore concepts. I believe that's the thing that makes us great. And one of these new thoughts that's just been abiding with me is who's actually planning for my future? And I thought about it. I'm sure you have kids. Can you think about which one of your children is actually planning for your future? Like you've got wonderful kids, wonderful children. But which one of them is actually planning for your retirement, planning for your home, your future expenses, your travel, the things that you really want to do in life? I would submit to you the only person that actually has the ability to plan for your future is the man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror. And it's really funny because when I wrote that down, I was thinking about that Michael Jackson tune back in the day. It was, I'm looking at the man in the mirror and I'm asking him to change his ways. You know, that kind of made a lot of sense because if we don't do something, who's going to do it? So, in this example, I was in my office and my wife walked in and my son happened to come in, my oldest son, and he's very wise and prudent and he's always planning and he's thinking about the future and he's always talking about his dreams and his different goals and things that he's working on. And what was interesting, I just wanted to do an experiment. And my wife is sitting there, so or standing there, and I said, "Hey, Marcus, let me ask you a question." So he said, "Yeah, Dad, what?" And I said, have you been planning for me and your mom for our future? Like paying, do you know what I'm saying? Like paying our bills and making certain that we'll have stylish clothes and the things that your mom may like. Have you started planning for that? Like how you're going to, take care of our utilities and our cell phone bills, as well as our gas and our insurance on our cars. And when we need to get replacement cars, you have been planning for this, right? Oh my God, you should have seen the look on his face. The look was like, what in the world are you talking about? He was looking at me like I had absolutely lost it. And I believe that's when it kicked in that Superman is not coming. No one is going to bail us out of the future. Now, what we do know from just living, we do realize that the future is coming. When my oldest son turned 30, I let him know, hey, do you know how fast you think took to go from, you know, 12 years old to 30. Do you remember that run? I said, that's nothing because when I'm looking at you, it was 1 to 30. But guess what? Going from 30 to 60 is at hyper speed. It's extremely fast. And imagine this, people are living longer. We're living longer, we're healthier, hopefully. We've got things in order, we're eating better, we're monitoring our health status and things of that nature. Basically, that means we're going to be here a long time. And if Superman is not coming, who's going to take care of us? And actually, whose responsibility are we? You know, I would submit that there is a great deal of deception going on where we're being told to sit back and relax. Actually, we're being told to uh, get to the age of 65 so that we can retire, or 72, whatever the year is for you when your retirement benefits would allegedly kick in. But I want to challenge a thought on that. If we actually just sit back and wait, I don't think that's gonna work out well. If the cost of living constantly goes up, and yet the Social Security retirement benefit basically plateaus and stays very similar to sameness, or should I say it doesn't keep pace with the cost of living and the cost of inflation. So if that's the case, who's gonna take care of us? So, doesn't it make sense that right now would be the time that we are exploring every possible option? Shouldn't we, instead of waiting until retirement, saying, hey, I'd really love to open a business or start this once I retire? Wait a minute. Anything that must be done eventually should be done immediately. So, instead of us thinking about some distant point in the future, we should be thinking right now. I believe we should be waking up early in the morning and we should be using that time to not simply meditate and pray and go vertical, which we must do, but we should use that beautiful quiet time to fill our minds with thoughts and ideas, creative thoughts, inspiring thoughts. I believe that if we identify what it is that is our passion, we should actually do it now. No time to waste. Let's do it now. You know, not only do I believe the food pyramid and that chart that was a scam, but I actually believe the concept of sleep is a scam. Wouldn't it be crazy to find out years from now that people were actually at their optimum and their best when they slept 5 to 6 hours and not 8 or 9 or 10? We're not teenagers anymore. You do that when you're growing. There are no growth spurts happening when you've got more years behind you than ahead of you. The time is so limited. But right now, I would encourage each and every person that's a part of the 365 days of transformation. Start finding the voice that you are willing to listen to that will encourage you. I enjoy Napoleon Hill. I enjoy Brian Tracy. I enjoy many Norman Vincent Peale, the old greats, the motivational speakers that helped you see the future and expand your thoughts. Those are the ones I enjoy. Find the ones that you enjoy and fill your head with those thoughts of possibility, thoughts of purpose, thoughts of destiny, thoughts of things for the future, because you are the one that has to fashion the future. We believe God has got the best in store for us, but there is a requirement that faith requires work because the scripture says faith without works is dead. So, wouldn't it be reasonable to think that there's something that we should be doing? Superman's not coming. I was so disappointed when that revelation hit me. He's not. Superman's not coming. No one's coming to rescue me. It's me. It's you. I would also submit that the people that love you the most that are around you are motivated when you become all that you can, when you're doing everything in your power. Listen, I believe that destiny is calling, your purpose is calling, and there is something that you're supposed to be doing. The wonderful thing about life in America and the acquisition of wealth, if you can find a way to impact the lives of others in a positive and profound way, you will be rewarded financially in this country. Is there a problem that you've thought about that a lot of people haven't even considered that you could help? Something that you could solve? Is there a foundation that you should be starting? Some type of charitable organization, some type of ministry serving the poor? What is it that you would really love to do, that you would love to put your hands to? Since we know Superman's not coming, maybe it's because you're Superman or Superwoman, you're Wonder Woman. You are her. She's not coming. You are her. That's an incredible thought. And if that be true, now that we have the information, what are we going to do with it? You know, the people that achieve the greatest amount of success are people that recognize they've been placed here on purpose for a reason for such a time as this. I believe that your greatest days are yet ahead of you. Just as in our country, our best days are coming. But in order for it to happen, all of us need to step up and do our part. One of the presidents of old said, it's not what your country can do for you, but it's what you can do for your country. I would say it's not what your children can do for you, but what you can do for your children. It's not what someone else can do for you, but it's what you could do for someone else. I believe that if we really just make one little tweak in the way that we think, we could actually tap into our purpose and actually find the thing. What is the reason that we've been placed on the planet? I know it wasn't to sleep. It wasn't to binge watch or doom scroll. Why are we here? I believe that if we pursue that answer, we'll find it. And when we find it on the other side of that calling, that purpose, that reason why we've been placed on the planet, right on the other side of that is our economic breakthrough. Every single person that's been able to amass a fortune in America has done it by literally identifying a service, a good, or a product that they could bring to the rest of the country. What is it that you've been given to do? What is that thing that burns inside of you? What is the thing that you're so passionate about you can't stop thinking about it? In the next episode, I'm going to drop some information on you that I believe is going to change the game because I know for a fact the only thing the key that turns the ignition in our minds is information. And once you understand what's at stake and where we're actually going, vroom, 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 we can turn the car on. And once that motor starts, vroom, game over. I believe in you. And I want to congratulate you on the commitment that you've made to transformation. We are only just getting started. The best is yet to come. And I'm so excited to be doing life and this journey with you. With that being said, I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Care Michigan. Care Michigan is a Michigan based case management and care coordination company based in the city of Troy. They specialize in working with individuals that have been severely injured in motor vehicle accidents. If you or anyone you know has been involved in a motor vehicle accident and they are still in need of help, please call 1 833 696 2626 and let them know that you heard about Care Michigan on the No Time to Waste podcast. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Make it a great one. Now let's go seize the day.